Welcome, viewers. Today, we will be looking at how to convert from other number bases to base 10. We will be converting from other number bases to base 10. For instance, you can see the first number there, 54 in base 6. We will be converting it to base 10. And the second number, we have 1001 in base 2. And we will be converting it to base 10. And finally, we have 258, that's 258 in base 9. We will also be converting to base 10. So let's start with the first example, which is 54 in base 6, which we will be converting to base 10. So we have the number 54. So what we will simply do is to multiply each of the digits by the number base. So we have 5 times 6 plus 4 times 6. We have 5 times 6, that is that 5 there. We're multiplying it by the number base, and you know the number base is 6. And then we're now multiplying 4 by 6. We're multiplying 4 by the number base 6. Now the next thing to do is counting from the right hand side. We will assign an index or an exponent, or let's say a power, to the base number. So starting from the right hand side, we will start from 0 and then move to the left hand side, and then we add 1. So we keep increasing from 0 on the right hand side, as we can clearly see, and then we move to 1. So this is how we convert from a number base to base 10. So if we do a quick recap, remember we multiplied each of these individual numbers. For instance, 5, we multiplied it by the number base 6, and also we multiplied 4 by the number base 6, as we can clearly see. And then the next thing to do was to add an exponent, a power, to the base number starting from the right. And we start from 0, and then we move to the left and then say 1. Now let's simplify what we have. So what we have is 5 times 6 raised to the power of 1, which is the same as 5 times 6 plus 4 times 6 raised to the power of 0. We know that anything that is raised to the power of 0 except 0 itself is 1. So we have 6 raised to the power of 0. We have 6 raised to the power of 0 here, and that is clearly 1. So let's simplify further. We have 5 times 6, which we know is 30, and then we have 4 times 1, which we know is 4. So when we have 30 plus 4, we have 34. So in converting from 54 to base 6, and then we are now converting it to base 10, that is 54 in base 6, and converting it to base 10, what we have is 34 in base 10. So let's move to the next example. So here we have 1001 in base 2, and we are converting to base 10. 1001 in base 2, and we are converting it to base 10. Like we had shown before, we will multiply each component, each figure here by 2, and then we will add them up. So you have 1 times 2. So you are multiplying 1 by the base. The 1 here multiplied by the base. The base is 2 plus 0 times 2. So that is the second digit, plus the next 0 times 2, which is the third digit there, and then plus 1 times 2, that is the last digit on the right hand side, that is the fourth digit on the right hand side. We are also multiplying it by the base, which is 2. Now, just like we had in the previous example, we begin to assign exponents powers to the base number starting from the right hand side. I know our base is 2. Our base numbers here are 2. So we will assign from the right hand side, we'll start with 0. And then we move to the left, we assign 1. And then we assign 2. And then we assign 3. And once we can simplify this out, that will give us our conversion from base 2 to base 10. So on the left hand side, we have 1 times 2 raised to the power 3. And we know that 2 raised to the power 3 means 2 times 2 times 2. And that gives us 8. Plus, so we have 2 raised to the power 2 here. And then we're multiplying it by 0. Once you're multiplying anything by 0, it automatically becomes 0. So there's no need for us to simplify that further, because the answer will be 0. Likewise here, we have 0 times 2 raised to the power 1. So once you're multiplying by 0, it becomes 0 automatically, so plus 0. And then plus, we have 1 times 2 raised to the power 0, like we mentioned earlier. Once you raise a number to the power of 0, it is equals to 1, except if it is 0 raised to the power of 0. But once you have any other thing, any other number, and you're raising it to the power of 1, raising it to the power of 0, then it is equals to 1. I come again. We have 2 raised to the power of 0. You raise a number to the power of 0, it's 1, except it is 0 that is being raised to the power of 0. So since this is 2 raised to the power of 0, so this becomes 1 times 1. So if we simplify further, we say 1 times 8, which is equals to 8, and then we add the 0 here, and then we add the other 0 plus 0, and then we have 1 times 1, which is equals to 1. So what we simply have is 8 plus 0 plus 0 plus 1, and that gives us 9. So looking at what we have been able to simplify, we have 8 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 1, and that gives us 9. Therefore, our answer, converting 1001 in base 2 to base 10, is as shown, and the answer is 9. So let's look at the final example for today. We have 258 in base 9, and we are converting it to base 10. Remember, what we will do is to multiply each of these numbers. We will first multiply 2 by the base, and then we multiply 5 by the base, and then we multiply 8 by the base. And then we assign exponents from the right hand side. So let's just do that. So what's our base here? Our existing base is 9, So we say 2 times 9. And then we will add the next digit we will be multiplying by the base is 5. So we'll say 5 times 9. And then we will add. And the next digit we'll be considering is 8. And we'll say 8 times the base, 8 times 9. Like we mentioned earlier, now that we have multiplied each of these numbers, we've multiplied 2, which is this 2, by the base is 9. We've also multiplied 5, which is this 5, by 9, which is the base. And we've also multiplied 8, which is this 8, with the number base, which is 9. The next thing to do is to assign exponents to the base. And we start from the right hand side. So we assign 0. So it will be 9 raised to the power 0. The next one will be 9 raised to the power 1. Then we assign 2. So we keep increasing from the right hand side to the left hand side. Now that we have done that, we will simplify. So our first value here becomes 2 times 9 raised to the power 2. 9 raised to the power 2 is 81. So what we are saying is 2 times 81 plus we have 5 times 9 raised to the power 1. We know that 9 raised to the power 1 is 9. So 5 times 9 is 45. Then we have 8 times 9 raised to the power 0. 9 raised to the power 0 is 1. So we're saying 8 times 1. So we simplify this further. We have 2 times 81, which is 162 plus 45 and then plus 8. We simplify this further. 162 plus 45 plus 8, and that gives us 215. And that is the answer to the conversion of 258 in base 9 and converting it to base 10. So we can quickly see the summary of the 3 examples that we have done. The first number was to convert 54 in base 6 to base 10, and we got 34 in base 10. Next we had 1001 in base 2, and in converting it to base 10 we have 9 in base 10. And then the last one, which is number 3, we had 258 in base 9, and then when we converted it to base 10 we have 215 in base 10. So this brings us to the end of converting from other number bases using these 3 examples to base 10. Thank you for watching this YouTube video. I believe it has added some value to you. Kindly subscribe, kindly like and share.